Stand by for news of a revolution born in a workshop. Stand by for a story of 3 reels and a dream. Stand by for the ding that was heard around the world. We go back, way back. The year is 1894. The place, San Francisco, a city of fog, gold seekers, and iron-willed dreamers. In a small, cluttered workshop on Market Street, there was a young Bavarian immigrant named Charles Fay. Now, Charles was a mechanic by trade, a man who understood the language of springs, sprockets, and gears. But he had a particular itch. He noticed that folks in the local parlors loved a challenge, but the machines of the day were, well, a bit clunky. They were complicated. They were as temperamental as a mule in a mudslide. Charles Fay decided he could do better. He wanted to build a machine that was simple, a machine that was honest, a machine that could talk back to you in the language of cold, hard metal. He spent his nights hunched over a workbench, the oil lamp flickering against the walls. He stripped away the complexity. He didn't want 100 symbols, he wanted 5. The horseshoe, the diamond, the spade, the heart, and the one that gave the machine its soul, the Liberty Bell, as you see right here. By 1898, he had perfected it. He called it the Liberty Bell. It was a cast iron marvel, weighing over 100 pounds, sitting on 3 sturdy legs like a bronze bulldog. Imagine the scene. You walk up to the counter, you drop a nickel, you reach for that long curved arm we call the lever, and you pull. 3 reels inside begin to spin. It's a blur of color, and your heart does a little dance in your chest. The first reel stops, a bell. The second reel stops, a bell. And then with a final, definitive thud, the third bell aligns. The machine didn't just sit there, it came to life. It sang. It paid out 10 nickels, 50 cents, a fortune for a working man in the gay 90s of old. It was the first time a machine had ever been able to read its own results and pay out automatically. Charles Fay hadn't just built a game, he built a mechanical brain. Now here's the comedy of the history, folks. Charles Fay was so successful that he couldn't keep up with the demand of this little slot machine. He refused to sell his machines. He only rented them. He'd go around San Francisco in his buggy collecting the nickels and maintaining the gears. But soon, the copycats showed up. The design was so elegant, so perfect, that everyone wanted a piece of the action. Even after the great earthquake of 1906, which leveled his workshop, Fay kept going. He was a man who knew that as long as people had a nickel in their pocket and hope in their heart, the Liberty Bell would never stop ringing. It became a global phenomenon. From the dusky saloons of the Barbary Coast to the glittering lights of the modern age, every digital screen you see today, every flashing light in a modern arcade, it all traces its DNA back to that one cast iron box in a San Francisco basement. Which brings us to the next chapter. Charles Fay's original machines are now museum pieces, precious artifacts of a lost mechanical era. Most of us will never get to pull that original iron lever. But today, the spirit of that 19th century workshop has been captured in a different kind of metal. The Spectres Mint has decided to pay tribute to the man who changed the world of gaming. They didn't just make a coin, here they made a monument. They've released the Liberty Bell slot machine 2-ounce pure silver coin. This isn't your grandfather's pocket change. This is a coin, an intricate, detailed replica of Fay's 1898 masterpiece struck into 2 full ounces of 999 fine silver. What is luck if you cannot pass a touch of it on? You see that there's the embossed pay table right here. You see the classic lever, and there, proudly displayed on the reels, the antiqued high-relief signature, Liberty Bell itself. Issued by Samoa, as you see here. In 2025, it measures a substantial 38 by 60 millimeters. It's a heavy, tactile piece of history that brings the mechanical charm of the Victorian age to the palm of your hand. But here's the lucky part. The mintage of this is exactly 777 pieces worldwide, a nod, of course, to the most iconic number in the world of reels, and limited to a perfect mintage of 777, it captures every nut, bolt, and gear of the original. What is more lucky is I have received the number 77 of 777, as you see right there. A stroke of luck that might find you, as this piece will be fed to my giveaway crab for our 10,000 subscriber giveaway. This means this piece could be yours in the distant future. It's a must-have for any collector of Americana, for the lover of vintage gaming, and the seeker of true numismatic artistry. But while Charles Fay's nickels are long gone, the silver bell he inspired is now a treasure that will never tarnish. From a flickering oil lamp on Market Street to this masterpiece of pure silver. But does this coin find favor for your collection? Well, let's put it on our 60-point scale to see if it's right for you. First, let's take a look at this amazing packaging. I absolutely love this packaging. The way the box top is removed to reveal the COA, or Certificate of Authenticity, is fantastic. I should also note that this is a quite sturdy box. Even the inside of the box top has velvet. We see the COA numbered 77 out of 777, which, as noted, is such a stroke of luck that I am making this coin my 10,000 subscriber giveaway. So we shall find out if this luck shall find its way to you. We see all the amazing details on this card, which once removed shows the form-fitting, soft velvet housing, solid packaging, as always, from the Spectres. Oh, and by the way, if you want one of these, I have a discount code to save you some money. Make sure you use code COC20 in checkout at the Spectres website. Now we move to the obverse of the coin. This is a 2-ounce coin, but in the hand it honestly feels like 3 or 4. It's a weighty little thing, and we see such cool representation of Americana right here. I love how Spectres has created a depth to this piece. The subject matter comes from a time of functionality. This is a pre-Art Deco piece, so there is not the ornamentation one would expect from iconic Vegas, not at least in the first historic model. It is functional and has elegance in the simplest lines. I love the winning combinations right here being visible. Really cool piece, and I score it a 10. When we move to the reverse, which is here, we see the back of the machine, which on the real machine is just a flat piece of metal. This being a coin, we need some identifiers to certify it as such. We see the amazing coat of arms of Samoa, the year, the purity, and the value, but we also see an oversized Liberty Bell right there, which is a nice touch to deal with the negative space of the canvas. This machine would likely sit against a wall or on a bar in real life, and the back would have just been seen by the shopkeeper's eyes and thus never needed to have any ornamentation. I love this design and think that it's a rare example where making smart choices and minimalist simplicity benefits the overall design. I scored a 9. Now we move to mintage. As mentioned, this coin has an extremely low mintage of just 777, which is fun in relation to the theme, but also scores a 10, bringing us to cultural significance. Spectres is a fantastic mint who often caters coins to the American market, which makes sense as we are the largest consumer economy by far. This can pose serious issues, however, as Spectres needs a nation's contract to conduct minting of coins. In this case, Samoa is the nation, Spectres is the mint, and Americana is the theme, this being the first ever slot machine. Though my research indicates the slot machine and other forms of gambling found their way to Samoa, it was likely much later, such as 1960, as this was a rather conservative culture. It scores an unfortunate 1 out of 10. Collectability is next. Well-crafted Americana will always find a home in collections. This is no exception. The slot machine is something that has defined the turn of a century, rolled past the Great Depression, and solidified itself in westward expansion, notably intertwined with the legends of Sin City, Las Vegas. Though I'm not a gambler, I do love the song by Kenny Rogers and score it a 10. Uniqueness is next. When scouring the vastness of the internet, I found tons of slot machine tokens, but only 2 examples of slot machine coins, Cameroon and this. This being the only Liberty Bell model, and as Cameroons seem to be more of a model you'd find in casinos up to the age of video slots, often used today, brings this to a 10 and to our final thoughts and score. The Liberty Bell slot machine from Spectres rings out at a 50 out of 60, meaning it was just lucky enough to find its way to the halls of the elite status. So is this a coin for everyone? Not really, but is it a coin that should be considered for lovers of Americana, history, culture, or cultivators of unique coins? Absolutely. I love it, and sad that one day I'll have to say goodbye to it, but know that it is the luck of the draw and a notable way for me to say thank you for your continued support. Thank you as always, and until next time, please remember to stay classy and current with the culture of currency.